Hello and welcome to today's lesson. Today we are not doing anything new, so what we are doing is we are reviewing for your test that is tomorrow. So we're going to review for your test that's going to be on lesson 2-1. It's dealing with all the different exponents. Okay, so what I would like for you to do right now is to go take a sheet of paper. So pause the video. Pause this video, go find a sheet of paper, please. All right, now that you're back, there are a couple things that I want you to do. So on the top of your sheet right now, I want you to divide it into 4 different sections so you always have this to look back at. You can have this to look at when you're taking your review assignments today and when you're taking your test tomorrow. So remember, there's some different rules that we went over. So one rule is if we have something like x to the -7th. Okay, if you have something to a negative power, we are not allowed to have that. So mathematicians say we need to write this as 1 over x to the 7th power. Okay, another property that we went over with exponents is if we have like exponents. Okay, you can see that these are both x's as bases. And so what we are going to do is you're going to keep the base. Okay, you have to keep the base. And then what we're going to do is add exponents. So when we add exponents, we're going to get 2 plus 8. So you guys get x to the 10th power. Okay, keep your base, add your exponents. All right, another one that we have here is when we have a power to a power. So x to the 3rd, and we're going to take that to the 5th power. This is called a power to a power. Power to power. Okay, and again, you are going to keep your base. And this time what we're going to do, we can't do the same rule. This time we are going to multiply your exponents. So when we do that, we're going to get x to the 15th power because 3 times 5 is 15. And then the last rule that we went over was something like x to the 10th over x to the 3rd. Okay, this is a division. And what we did here, same thing. I know it's a shocker. We're going to keep the base. And this time we are going to subtract the exponents. Okay, so this is saying x to the 7th power. Okay, now be careful. Sometimes when we have it x to the 3rd, you see all the smaller ones on top? And let's just pick a different number down here so we get a different answer here. We have 7 x's on the bottom and we have 3 x's on top. So on this one, we're going to have 1 over x to the 4th. Okay, we have more x's on the bottom, so when we're all done simplifying, you're going to have x to the 4th on the bottom. All right, keep this sheet out in front of you, and remember, on every single screen right now, you should pause it, you should try these 3 problems, and then when you're done, resume your video. All right, this one looks like one of those rules. When we're going to be multiplying, we're going to add these exponents. So it is 7 plus a -3, so we have c to the 4th power. All right, number 2, this looks like a power to a power. And why this gets tricky is because remember there's a 1 here. So we're going to bring this in, and remember we are multiplying these exponents. So 3 and 1 times 2 is 2. And now we're going to bring this in here, and remember you're multiplying those exponents, and 5 times 2 is 10. Now, we know what 3 squared is, so if you know what it is, great. If you're one of those that keeps messing that up, just do 3 caret 2, so you get your final answer of 9w to the 10th. All right, this one looks like one of the last ones that we did, and this one we are going to subtract exponents. We have a bigger 9 on top, so when we're done subtracting, we're going to have x to the 4th power. All right, remember, freeze your video and then go ahead and give these a try. All right, just remember, this 0 just goes to the x. It is not going to the 3. So we have 3 to the first times, and what is anything to the 0 power? 1. So we have 3 times 1, so this answer is 3. All right. Again, put in this exponent. It's x to the what power? Put that 1 in there. So now we're going to add these exponents. So 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 plus a negative 9 is going to be x to the negative 3rd power. And then one of those rules that you have there, maybe the first one that I wrote on that little sheet, is you can't have a negative exponent. So we're going to write this as 1 over x to the 3rd power. All right, in this next one, we have to bring this 3 into everything. There's a 2, there's an a, and there's a b. There's 3 things, so you have to bring this in. When you bring this in, remember, we are multiplying. This is a power to a power. So we have 2 to the 3rd. A, 2 times 3 is 6. B, 4 times 3 is 12. And now this one we can simplify. So 2 to the 3rd power is 8. A to the 6th. B to the 12th. All right, stop this, freeze this, give this a chance, give it a try, and then come back. All right, x's. When we look at these x's here, we have 9 on top, 15 on the bottom. So when we all simplify, 15 minus 9 is 6. And notice I put them on the bottom because that's where we're going to have more. If you did 9 minus 15, we get a negative 6 power, and we can't have a negative 6, so it goes in the bottom. And we are still left with y to the 3rd power. All right, going across, we're going to bring this in. So we have e to the negative 4th, f to the negative 4th. We are not allowed to have negative exponents. So we're going to write this as 1 over e to the 4th, f to the 4th. They both are negative, so they both go in the bottom. All right, here we have parentheses. Bring this into the top and the bottom. You have to bring it into the x and the y. So we have x to the 6th. Remember, we are multiplying these exponents. So 3 times 2 is 6. Negative 4 times 2, so it's y to the negative 8th. Okay, now this one has a negative 8 and it's in the bottom. We are not allowed to have negative exponents anywhere, ever. So to move this, we're going to put that up to the top. That x to the 6th stays where it's at. And then we have y to the 8th. So at the very end, everything is up in the numerator. All right, on this last one, we gotta think, what rule are we doing here? When we have an x and an x, we keep that base for an x. But how did they get that 8? What number has to go in here? What do we do with the exponents? And this is an add, so what number would go in here? Yep, a 3. 3 plus 5 would give us 8. So the missing exponent here is a 3. All right, freeze this and then give this a try and see what we end up with. All right, so 2 and what is going to give us negative 6? First, we have to decipher which rule does this look like. And this looks like we're going to have to add. So 2 plus what is going to give us negative 6? Well, the only way to get a negative 6 is if we had a negative 8. So if you check your calculator, 2 plus a negative 8 is going to give you a negative 6. So they're looking for a negative 8 in there. All right, this next one, wow, 1, 2, 3, 4 things they want us to check on. So do you guys know how to simplify 3 over 6? And I'm just going to make my fraction bar because some of the stuff's going to be on the numerator in the top and some of it's going to be on the denominator on the bottom. So 3 over 6, that reduces to 1/2. Okay, now I look at my w's. So when I look at my w's here, I have 5 on top, 2 on the bottom. So that's going to be 5 minus 2. So I end up with w to the 3rd on the top. What is x to the 0? Well, x to the 0 is just 1. So 3 times 1, or 1 times 1 is just going to be the 1. So that just kind of evaporates or gets rid of there. Now we're going to look at our y's. Let's see, I have 2 y's on top and I have 8 y's on the bottom. Where do you have more y's, top or bottom? Okay, well, there's more y's in the bottom. So now when we subtract these exponents, 8 minus 2 is 6. Okay, if we would have done this on the top, we get 2 minus 8. So we get y to the negative 6th, and we can't have a negative exponent, so it goes down in the bottom. All right, stop this and give it a chance. Okay, a number. We don't know what the number is, so some number to the 3rd power is multiplied by the same number to the 2nd power, and we end up with 243. So what number, and we're going to combine these, what number to the 5th power gives you 243? So when you take 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, just do 2 caret 5. Do you get 243? 2 caret 5. And nope, that's only 32. Holy buckets, that's not even close. So try the next one. Try 3 caret 5. 3 caret 5. What do we get? Oh, that's 243. So what is repeating here? X must be 3. All right, so now the kind of last concept that we were talking about is order of operations. So remember PEMDAS, we have to do inside the parentheses first. So 10 minus 6 is 4 times 4 to the 2nd power plus 10 plus 2 is 12 squared. So let's see, we can combine these because they're the same exponent. They're 4 to the 5th power plus 12 squared. So again, grab your calculator. What is 4 to the 5th power? And on your assignment or on your test, I would need to see work. And what is 12 squared? 144. So now add those two together. Wow, I hit something there. And we get 1,038. So order of operations, do inside your parentheses first. And remember what we're working on. When they have like bases, we add those exponents. All right, this is one problem here. So again, parentheses. What is 12 minus 5? 7. In here, what's 3 plus 4? 7 to the 2nd power to the 2nd power. So that's power to a power. So we're going to multiply. So we have 7 to the 7th over 7 to the 4th. Now what do we have when we have like bases here and it's division? Do we add, subtract, or multiply those exponents? So we're going to do 7 minus 4 because it's subtract. So we have 7 to the 3rd power. So grab your calculator. 7 caret 3, 7 to the 3rd power is 343. All right. I gave you guys a worksheet to take home and said, take this home. We're going to be using it on a Monday. Well, we didn't use it on Monday, but I want you to use it now. So go into your folder, look for that review worksheet, and this is your assignment that you need to do right now. So there is a place to submit it. So go in and there's an assignment, and it is where you are going to submit this worksheet. Okay, there's a submit button over on the right-hand side. So you're going to submit this worksheet in for homework points. All right, good luck.